NumPy or numerical Python is a library for working with arrays and mathematical operations in Python. It's a fundamental package for scientific computing and data analysis in Python. So, what is NumPy? NumPy is a library for efficient numerical computation and it provides a support for large and multidimensional matrices and also a high performance in the mathematical functions. NumPy is used for the conjunction of with other some popular data science libraries in Python, which includes pandas and matplotlib. Basically in Python we don't have a built-in function, so we need to use install NumPy, and also we can import NumPy by using import NumPy as np. NumPy mostly deals with arrays which are similar to a list. But it is homogeneous data. Where the NumPy arrays only take the similar kind of data as not compared to the list. In arrays, we basically have one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and also n-dimensional arrays. But how to create one-dimensional array? By creating one-dimensional array, we can just assign a variable and we can directly create in the inside of a set. We need to assign array in between. And creating 2D array. Array dot is 2D is a variable which assigns the two sets of data as a 2D dimensional array. Okay. Let us take an example of NumPy arrays. The one-dimensional array, as we can determine a variable to the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 in array. You can determine by ND, D type and shape and dimensional by just marking to the variables. You can also create by using another way directly towards the thing. And here it's a two-dimensional array which indicates the two index values. Manually type or sequence of numbers, you can generate by using these two functions, np.arrange and also np.linspace. In np.arrange, the syntax will be the number start and stop and the step. The step value is something like, for example, as you can see, the first start value is 1 and the stop value is 10. Here it generates a step value of 2. Like it starts from 1 and the step of 2, that is the next number is 3. And 5, 7, 9. It is excluded. The data is excluded as the step value is 2. And the next one, np.linspace. Here the syntax is start, comma, stop, comma, num. Here the number values are, the numbers generates will be in between 1 to 50. You can write in between numbers 1 to 50 and with 20 numbers. And how can you determine the difference? The starting value is 50 and minus 1, stopping value is 20 minus 1, which is equal to 49 by 19. This is used to use the values in between. Like in between 1 to 50, we have to be the num of 20 values. So in between 1 to 50, we will be getting the 20 values, that is in difference of 2.57, and the array will be, the output will be like this.
Hello, welcome to the NumPy practical session. As you can see, it is a Jupyter notebook where most of the programming done here, and I have created a notebook here which is for our practice. It is a thing which we can see here. We can create number of cells by just inputting plus symbol, and we can just delete by using the cut symbol. Firstly, as we enter into the video, Here comes importing NumPy as NP, and I have given an example uh, I have given an example of array values to a variables, and I have given the total. We can just perform activity by just clicking shift plus enter. As you can see, it is a values of the total of max physics plus chemistry. And here there was a two-dimensional array. This is a one-dimensional array which indicates of a single list. And here comes the two-dimensional array with two brackets covering over there. So we can just find the shape and n-dimensional by using these functions. And by just clicking, we can check whether it's a two-dimensional array and what is the shape of the array. And also we can perform the array function. So as you can see, I have given another example here. You can just guess what is the shape and what is the dimension of the array. Here it comes a two-dimensional array and the 2 comma 2 matrix. Here uh, in NumPy the arrays are similar to the matrix in the mathematics where we perform addition, multiplication, subtraction and matrix multiplication. Their matrix multiplication here we do dot product. Um, Check whether what is the shape dimension. Yes, we got similar kind of data because we have given the similar kind of data. And as you can see, we can just perform x plus y, x minus y, 1 plus 5 is 6, 2 plus 6 is 8, 3 plus 7 is 11, 4 plus 8 is 12. You can just check whether checking dot product of x plus y. And you can just also perform other similar operations here by not only a single value to be performed, you can just click, okay, I have given a comma here. Now it performs the actions. The first one is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. It performs quite easily. And you can also perform dot product. Okay, to perform dot product, we need to check whether the first array of the columns of the first array is equal to the rows of the second array. Here, the columns of the first array is 2, as similar to the quite rows of the second column. You can just perform by clicking dot product of x dot y and also y dot x. You can check the answers. As you can go in detail, I have created a marks array of 4 students here, and I need to check whether what is the shape and dimension by just clicking. As you can see here, the dimension of this array is 2. We can check by the last two brackets here, and the shape is rows. There are 4 rows and 5 columns, which is the shape of 4 comma 5. And max, we have to another marks we do have. We can perform by clicking just, and its shape is 5 comma 2, which is 5 rows and 2 columns, and the shape of the array is two-dimensional array. We can perform dot matrix by checking the rules. Like the only main rule thing is here, the columns of this first array is equal to the row of the second array. Here we can check m1 dot m2. The first one is 5 is equal to 5. So we can perform the matrix dot product. We can perform dot product of two arrays. And as we can go to check to do the m2 dot m1, we need to check the m2 columns is equal to m1 rows. As you can perform, you will be getting a value error because the row of the column value of the first array is not equal to the row of the second array. So it will be getting a value error. And coming to the next topic, generating a sequence of numbers. Here we have two things, a range, which we are using to pronounce as a range, and the second one is linspace. The syntax for a range is start, stop, and step. Here the start indicates the starting value, which is in example 1, and the stopping value is 10, which is the excluded value. So we need to uh, do the next number. If you want the 10 numbers, 10 first numbers of a step 1, so we need to be excluded the last number. And it basically generates a one-dimensional array. As you can see the type of A, it is an ND array. And as we can see, we can check whether the dimension, shape and type. Here the dimension is 1D array, one dimensional array, and the shape is 10 because as you can see the array here it indicates the 10 values which is 10. The shape is 10 comma. Here it gives the value and the type of this is int32. You can also convert it into float. It's just by clicking here. It's not an important thing. And as you can see, for another example, here the start value is 0 and the stop value is 101, 101 and the step value is 5. For generating a sequence of numbers from 1 to 100 with a step value of 5, we can perform using a range function by just clicking a stop step and start stop step values. There is another example with a step value of 1.5, the numbers in between 0 to 11. As you can see, it is quite simple. And coming to the next topic, linspace. Linspace basically generates the one-dimensional array, but it gives the starting value, stop value, which is included. Here, the rare case is the stop value is also included in this. So we can generate the starting and stopping values. In between, we can generate a 20 numbers. As you can see, here it generates 1 to 50 numbers with a step value of what will be the step value? Here it generates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 fours are 20. It generates the 20 values. But what is the step value? We can just calculate the step value by this. The start value minus stop value by number minus 1. Here the what is the start value? Starting value is 50 minus 1, which is divided in 19, which is 2.57. Here we can just check the step value of 50, the starting minus stopping by number minus 1. It is 50 minus 50 divided by 19, which will be giving as 2.57 as a step value. As you can see, 1 is the first value and 1 plus 2.57 which is 3.57. 3.57 plus 2.57 which is 6.57. As we can generate a 20 different values with a step value of 2.5789 like this. It's all about generating a sequence of numbers and a range and the linspace. Thank you.